Hello everyone, today is Monday, June 18th. It's 2:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's kind of midday in the markets, a couple of hours before the close. And I'm making the video early today because I have jury duty. On my right is my computer clock. You can see the date and time. This is recorded in real time. On my left is the time in sales, and you can see the Emini S&P currently trading at 2776 at 2:01. So far, really excellent day for the auto trader. First up is the DAX on a line break chart, and we've seen this chart quite a bit, 34 tick line break. And this was our maximum drawdown here. It was about 400 per contract. So yeah, the DAX is volatile, but we came back with several really stellar winners on the line break chart. In particular, this long trade filled on its limit order, and then really excellent placement on the exit up here. So this hit its goal, probably had a couple of ticks slippage at the end, has a goal of 2,000. Okay, the DAX on a Super Renko 6 tick has been doing really well since we've been showing it. It's not a time frame I've been showing for a long time, but it's had really excellent performance. There was 3 winning trades in a row here, and that brought it up to its goal. And the goal on this is 2040, so this had a couple of ticks of positive slippage. And very nice looking trades here. Just a reminder that we use limit orders on 90% of what we show here, and so our profit targets are limit orders and our entries are limit orders. Slippage is not an issue. Okay, next up is the NASDAQ on a 2584 Heikin-Ashi chart. This has a closed P&L of 1120, and it's currently long 2 with just underwater a couple of ticks here. So a very nice looking trade right here. And then a small loser. Looks like our equity high was about 1200, and we'll see what happens with this. Okay, the NASDAQ on a Super Renko 10 tick had no losing trades on this chart. You can see it in the equity curve here. And this did 1525 for the day. I think the goal on this is 1500. So positive slippage on this chart, and looks like 4 or 5 winning trades in a row. Okay, the NASDAQ on the 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart drew down about 150 per contract here, and is currently in a negative position. We have a closed P&L of 740, and we're negative about 220 right now on 2 contracts. Okay, the Dow E-mini contract on a 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart has a closed P&L of 780 and an open P&L of 410, so about 1100 so far for the day. You can see the trades and the positions here. The Emini S&P on a 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart has a goal of 1300 and hit 1350 on these trades here, so a couple of ticks of positive slippage. Okay, the crude oil on a Super Renko 7 tick did 1180. Our goal on this is 1200, and took a little bit of heat here, about 200 per contract, and then came back at the lunch hour with this really spectacular long trade here, going for almost 100 ticks. Our entry was 65.16 and closed the position at 91, so about 75 ticks or so, 80 ticks perhaps. Okay, next up is the Emini S&P on a 987 Heikin-Ashi chart, and this did 975 for the day. The goal on this is 1,000, so a couple ticks slippage at the end here. Really nice long trade, and a shorter winning position here out at the top tick, it looks like. Okay, the DAX on 150 Heikin-Ashi chart was moderately active here. It looks like we had an equity high of about 900 and then drew down about 800 and then came back and finished at just under 750 for the day. Okay, an open position on the bonds, short 2 with an open P&L of about $300. Okay, an open position on the Emini S&P Super Renko 6 tick, open P&L of about 275 or so. Okay, a single trade on the mid cap, Super Renko 14 tick, did 980 for the day, probably shy of our goal. Well, actually our goal is modest on this at 1,000, so hit our goal, had 2 ticks of slippage, or 1 tick per contract. Okay, the Emini S&P on the Super Renko 2 tick with a higher time frame filter of Super Renko 4 tick hit its goal of 750 and had positive slippage. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching.